What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, the bombshell was dropped and Vandersteel published this tweet just several hours ago, and on today's video I will show you everything that is directly related to this bombshell. I will show you different points of view on this problem, and I will explain you why it doesn't matter your position on this problem, because at the end of the day, regardless of everything, this news will definitely push our case forward one way or another, and I will explain you what I'm talking about. But before we dive deep into all of these, guys, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to know more about technical analysis, join my Patreon account. And guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my Safe Haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me, and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part: if you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Here are just a few of my trade results from the first half of October. But don't wait, this offer is available for a limited time only. Once the spots are filled, enrollment will close. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market. So, and let's begin with this news. We are on MMTLP Resources, and as you can see, the FOIA gives us proof. Guess who was coordinating over the MMTLP U3 halt? Yes, it's FINRA and the SEC and the broker-dealer lobby, FIF. And you can see that this is the tweet that was written by Vandersteel. And here is this tweet in details. Let me show you what did she write. Bombshell email exposed. A FOIA just revealed behind closed doors coordination between FINRA, the SEC and the broker-dealer lobby, FIF, over MMTLP. After 65,000 investors were trapped by a U3 halt. Not investor protection, damage control. They knew there weren't enough real shares, so they froze trading anyway. Wall Street was protected. Families were destroyed. The email is real, the timeline is documented. The questions are now, how do we get answers? Who will be held accountable? And let me play this video for you.
MMTLP was not a stock. It was a Series A preferred share issued as a dividend following a reverse merger completed in June 2021 between Torchlight Energy Resources, a NASDAQ-listed oil and gas company, and Metamaterials Inc., which at the time was listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange. As part of that merger, Torchlight's oil and gas assets were placed into a Series A preferred shares to be held by shareholders until those assets were sold or spun out. Those preferred shares were never intended to trade. No Form 211, no issuer approval, no shareholder vote. Yet, in October 2021, an unknown third party, not the issuer, requested that the ticker symbol MMTLP be assigned to those shares and made tradable on the OTC market against the company's stated intentions, against company wishes. That alone is highly irregular. But what happened next is far worse. In July 2022, Metamaterials announced plans to spin out the Torchlight oil and gas assets into a new private non-trading company called NextBridge Hydrocarbons. MMTLP shares were designated to be exchanged for common shares of NextBridge once the spinout was completed. The SEC approved that spinout in November 2022. Shareholders were repeatedly told by brokers, OTC markets, and FINRA that they would be able to trade MMTLP through December 12, 2022, before settlement. But on December 9, 2022, just days before settlement, FINRA imposed a U3 trading halt, an extraordinary halt reserved for emergencies. A U3 halt means no buying and no selling. No warning, no exit, no answers. More than 65,000 Americans were locked in, including over 200 military veterans who trusted the system they served. Retail investors were trapped, while short positions were frozen in place. But short sellers who had made millions were never forced to close. Broker-dealers who loaned out the shares to those short sellers avoided billions in exposure. If this were about settlement risk, trading could have been extended. If this were about fraud, the rules already provided remedies. Instead, the sell button was removed. This wasn't investor protection. What followed wasn't just financial damage. Families were destroyed, businesses collapsed, life savings were erased. Some investors lost their homes, some lost their livelihoods, and tragically, some took their own lives under the weight of what this halt did to them and their families. This was not an abstract market event. This was real harm to real people. 3 years later, a FOIA request produced a bombshell. Emails showing direct communication between the Financial Information Forum, a trade organization representing major broker-dealers, and senior officials at the SEC, discussing a 2023 corporate action by Next Bridge Hydrocarbons that would have required shareholders to transfer their shares to the transfer agent, not a broker-dealer. Transfers that could have exposed unreconciled short positions, shares that did not exist, inside a non-trading company after FINRA's U3 halt. Behind closed doors, regulators and Wall Street coordinated, not to unwind the damage, but to manage it. Let me be very clear. The FIF represents broker-dealers. FINRA claims to regulate those broker-dealers independently. The SEC is supposed to oversee FINRA, not coordinate with a broker-dealer lobbying group about the fate of a specific security. And yet, they did. Behind closed doors. This isn't about a bad trade, it's about a system protecting itself. The emails show regulators and brokers confronting a simple reality. There were not enough real shares. This FOIA email is a smoking gun. The facts are documented, the harm is real, and it leaves one unavoidable question. Who were they really protecting?
So guys, and as you can see, it is a really amazing update on MMTLP saga, and regardless of your position, regardless of everything that you know about this story, this is a very good update and very good news for all MMTLP shareholders. Because, so let me show you first of all this update that basically we have plenty of news inside the MMTLP community that is reflecting this update. Junk Savvy made a space call, and it is another sign that this news is really important for the part of the community who pursue non-litigation path to the resolution. On top of that, guys, let me remind you that Charles Payne wrote this just a couple of days ago. He wrote in response to Ann Vandersteel that he's checking out her work, which means that if this statement that was made by Ann Vandersteel is correct, Charles Payne will reflect the same narrative in his TV show. And definitely this will propel our case even further. On top of that, we have a very good update from RareDD. You can see that Curtis reposted the tweet that was written by RareDD, and RareDD made a video where he explains in details all the FOIA letters that were released just recently. Another very good chunk of information that you have to know in order to basically understand all the details. On top of that, let me show you this tweet that was written by George Palikers. He wrote, Executive summary. By October 2023, SEC Trading and Markets team had written documentation from the FIF team, the broker-dealer lobby group, that there was still shares to loan due to the FINRA halt. Lending broker-dealers could not recover them, and the next breach S1 is approved as filed would lock that in. They did not disclose this to the affected investors or the issuers. They worked it through with the industry in private behind closed doors. Let's break it down in detail, shall we? Pages 4, 3, 2, 1. Full access to the FOIA document, and he added the link to the Dropbox where you can find all these FOIA letters. what the FOIA document actually is, an email chain between Howard Meyerson, Managing Director, Financial Information Forum. FIF is an industry association representing broker-dealers, exchanges, and tech vendors, and senior staff in the SEC's Division of Trading and Markets. David Shaltel, John F. Procillo, advisor to the director, Eric Gerdin, and Sai Rao are also in the loop on earlier emails. The entire conversation is about NextBridge Hydrocarbons' Form S1, the MMTLP spinout, and the process proposed by NextBridge for distributing share and paper certificates. So, despite the usual, we can talk about a specific issue or line. Trading and Markets is engaging in substantive back and forth with an industry lobby group specifically about NextBridge's S1 and its operational implications. The timeline and key events. FIF initiates contact September 19 of 2023. Meyerson writes to senior SEC staff, Gerdin, Saltinel, Rao, introduces FIF as an association for broker-dealers, exchanges, tech vendors. Says FIF members have concerns about the NextBridge S1. Requests a call so FIF members can communicate certain operational concerns about the process that NextBridge is proposing. Crucially, this is industry asking for access to the SEC about a live filing. B. SEC response. We can talk about the issue, but yes, let's talk. September 23 of 2023. Saltinel replies. Apologies for delay, says TM would be happy to hear from FIF and your members about operational issues associated with certain types of corporate actions. Adds they are unable to comment on any specific issues disclosures and want the focus on operational issues rather than the disclosure per se. Asks for more detail on the concerns and suggested times for a meeting. Translation. We'll have the meeting you want about NextBridge, but we'll frame it as general operational issues for optics. Side questions. What is the definition of RICO? C. Scheduling the meeting, October 2 to October 4, 2023. Meyerson proposes dates for a call and says they will send an outline of the points FIF members want to raise before the call. On October the 4th, 2023, he sends that outline. This is the core of the FOIA. And guys, it is a very good summary, and I have to admit that, well, in general, we see that authorities knew about the story of MMTLP and they basically avoid to do anything to protect investors. But the main question is different, and in a minute I will show you what I'm talking about. First of all, let me show you that Jan Vitrana, in response to George Palikar's tweet that I just read to you, wrote this. Thanks, Georgios. And on top of that, guys, this is the most important question and the most important statement of today's video. Jen wrote, Busted Brands is trying really hard to keep Anna away from the theory with MMTLP that doesn't include SEC and FINRA lineup. And you know who is she talking about? And she also added, all these media personalities need to know MMTLP holders were harmed by many entities. We need discovery to figure out what happened, not rose-colored glasses that filter out information. And guys, yes, we see that because of these FOIA requests, FOIA letters, we see that authorities didn't do a lot in order to protect retail investors. They saw the problem back in the days, but they didn't do nothing. At the same time, guys, ask yourself honestly, the problem was already there, and this problem was discovered by authorities, but who was the initial creator of this problem? This is the main question that Jen Vitrana asks, and she thinks, and I think she's 100% correct, that MMTLP holders were harmed by many entities. And we have to find out who these entities are. On top of that, guys, you know that we have another part of MMTLP community who doesn't, who perform, let's say, litigational path to the resolution, and in general, they are pretty much well, they don't agree with the majority of MMTLP shareholders, despite the fact that some of them are MMTLP shareholders and some of them are not. One of the people from this side of the community is Ocelot. And you can see that Sam reposted this. By the way, Sam is an actual MMTLP shareholder, but Ocelot, I believe, doesn't have any shares. So, Ocelot wrote, non-DTC eligible issuer submits WACI S1 that treats certain shareholders differently than others. 2. Broker-dealers express their concerns of operational impact and the impact on the lending market to the SEC. And 3. Retard scream, collusion. And guys, I have to admit that regardless of your position, regardless of your point of view, and regardless of anything that you think, this news is very impressive and very good news for MMTLP shareholders. Because, first of all, if and Vandersteel is 100% correct, and this video that I just showed you is a 100% legit video. In this case, we have more and more attention to this story, and potentially this story will be resolved one way or another, especially with the help of Vandersteel. But at the same time, guys, if she was misled by some community members, if she didn't do proper due diligence on this story, and to be honest, it is a very complicated story, and from my side, from the side of just ordinary trader, I don't know all the details, and I don't need to know basically how the market works. All I need is just a volatility on the market, and that's it. I know my risk tolerance, I know what I'm trading for now, and that is all I need. That is why it is very difficult to dig deeper and to understand all the problems inside the MMTLP saga, and that is why I believe that lawsuits will shed a lot of light to this story, because it is one of the most I would say legitimate ways to see some to reveal the truth. And you know that we cannot have the justice cannot be partial. We have to unveil all the details about this story. We have to find out who the wrongdoers are, and we shouldn't be one-sided people inside this problem. And yes, if she was misled by some people, everything will be exposed within the foreseeable future, because in this case, I believe that, wait a second, Charles Payne will not reflect this story in his TV show, and we will not see any type of, let's say, trend continuation. We will not see any follow-ups to this story. And yes, in this case, Ocelot is 100% correct. But if Ocelot is 100% incorrect in his statement, and and Vandersteel published a very legitimate story, in this case, guys, this will propel our case even further, and we will see the resolution one way or another. So, in general, today's news is very impressive, but we have to see all the details. Not we shouldn't be one-sided people inside this story. We have to know everything about this, and we have to find out it I believe within foreseeable future. Let's put it this way. So if you like my video, please hit the like button, and see you in the next video. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm back.